One of the most transformative development affecting mathematics in the Middle East was the remarkable spread of Islam. Within 1 century from 622 Christ edition, the year of the Prophet Muhammad's Hijrah, Islam had expanded from Arabia to Persia, to North Africa and to South. At the time that Brahmagupta was writing, the Sabian Empire of Arabia flourished and fallen, and the peninsula was in a severe crisis. It was inhabited largely by the desert nomads known as Bedouins, who could neither read nor write. Among them was the Prophet Muhammad, born in Mecca in about 570, and during his journeys, Muhammad came in contact with Jews and Christians, and the amalgam of religious feelings that were raised in the mind led to the belief that he was the apostle of God sent to lead his people. For some 10 years, he preached at Mecca, but in 622, faced by a plot on his life, he accepted an invitation to Medina. This flight, known as the Hijrah, marked the beginning of Mohammedan era, one that was to exert a strong influence on the development of mathematics. Muhammad now became a military as well as a religious leader. 10 years later, he had established a Mohammedan state with its center at Mecca, which Jews and Christians, being also monotheistic, were afforded protection and freedom of worship. For more than a century, the Arab conquerors fought among themselves and with their enemies until, by about 750, the warlike spirit subdivided. By this time, a schism had arisen between the Western Arabs in Morocco and the Eastern Arabs, who under the Caliph Al-Mansur had established a new capital, Baghdad, a city that was shortly to become the new center of mathematics. Yet, the Caliph at Baghdad would not even command allegiance of all Muslims in the eastern half of its empire, although his name appeared on coins of the realm and was included in the prayers of his subjects. During the first century of the Arabic conquest, there had been political and intellectual confusion, and possibly this accounts for the difficulty in localizing the origin of the modern system of numeration. The Arabs were, at first, without known intellectual interest, and they had little culture beyond a language to impose on the peoples they conquered. In this respect, we see a repetition of the situation when Rome conquered Greece, with which it was said that in a cultural sense, captive Greece took captive the captured Rome. By about 750 CE, the Arabs were ready to have history repeat itself, for the conquerors became eager to absorb the learning of the civilizations they had overrun. The House of Wisdom. The first century of the Muslim Empire had been devoted to scientific achievement. This period, from about 650 to 750, had been, in fact, perhaps the nadir in the development of mathematics, for the Arabs had not yet achieved intellectual drive, and concern for learning in other parts of the world had pretty much faded. It was during the Caliph of Al-Mamun on 809-833, however, that the Arabs had a dream in which an apostle appeared, and as consequence, Al-Mamun determined to have Arabic versions made of all of the Greek works he could lay his hands on, including Ptolemy's Almagest and the complete version